Hello to everyone in Maryland's beautiful 8th Congressional District. It's Congressman Jamie Raskin coming to you for my favorite time of the week, Local Hero, when we get to salute and appreciate and get to know better the people that make our community and our region such a wonderful place to live. Today's local hero is Suzanne Johnson, who was born and raised in Prince George's County, but her family roots on her mom's side are in Montgomery County. She is a widow with one son and two grandsons. She's a retired kindergarten teacher with 37 years of service to our kids. Her passion has always been history and genealogy. And in June 2008, she began working with her cousin, Gwen Reese, who founded the Sugarland Ethno-History Project, of which she's now the president. And this project has the mission of preserving and documenting the history of the African-American community of Sugarland, which is now part of Poolesville. So she's going to tell us all about it. And let me just start, Suzanne, by saluting you and congratulating you for being our local hero.
Thank you so much, Representative Raskin. I'm glad. Thank you for having me on.
Well, the pleasure is mine. Before we start, I've got to ask you about the picture of the beautiful quilts up there. And is that a picture of Sugarland, the one behind you on the wall?
Oh, no, my son, he knew I love quilting. As you can see, I've got one I've got to finish back here behind me.
And that's beautiful too. I'm a big quilt person myself. So I'm
okay. Well, we're going to get along just fine. No, that was a picture that my son brought me when he went up to, him and his friend went through Amish country, and he saw it and said, I got to get that from my mom. So,
oh, isn't that beautiful?
That's not Sugarland, unfortunately, but yeah, he got
that's beautiful. Well, look, so tell us about the Sugarland Ethno-History Project. You're now the president of it, and tell us all about Sugarland and what you guys are trying to do.
Okay, well, Sugarland is a community up in Montgomery County. It's part of Poolesville now, but it's off of 107, White's Ferry Road, and Route 28. The community was developed back in 1871 when some of the former enslaved people were able to buy land in that part of the county. They purchased land to build a church and a cemetery, which is still there. They also purchased land in the surrounding areas for their own homesteads. At one point, there were about 80 families there. Most of them had between 2 and 6 acres of land, but they were very eager to build this community and to work together to do that, which they did. The church that is there presently was built in 1893. And we're presently doing some renovations on that, but that was the center of the community. There was also a school, a store, and a post office. And the gentleman that was our postmaster was one of only 2 Blacks in the county, I believe, that had a post office. They all worked together to build a community, helping farm. They farmed and canned, and everything they did basically was to the benefit of everyone. If they canned fruits or vegetables, everybody got some. When they slaughtered hogs and things, everybody got some. So it was an equal partnership. You know, you took care of your family and other people's families too. So we've done a lot with the project itself is to preserve that history. We have the church that's there that I mentioned before serves right now as a museum to house all the artifacts and the family histories and other documents that we've collected, hopefully to help people search through what we have that might help them find their families. Our cemetery has been documented with the help of the people up at Monocacy to document those that we know are there, to make a cemetery map so we also know who's there. So we've gotten lots of help over the years, but our main purpose is to help preserve the history of the community since they work so hard to keep it going.
Well, it's a remarkable thing. It's very moving to think that you're right nearby. You have other family members who are right nearby. How many relatives or descendants, I suppose I should say, of the original Sugarland have you identified who still live near us in Maryland or in the area?
Well, Gwen has some cousins that live right down the street, down the road from the church. My aunt, my maternal aunt, she's the only one left. She lives up in Dickerson near Lewis Orchard. There a couple of other people in.
Wait, you're saying there's some people whose families just stayed right there nearby?
Yes, a very few. Once they got up and started, getting other jobs and moving out because there wasn't a lot to keep them there. But there are a few people left that still have, if they're not living there, may have several acres of land still there.
And so how did it end? Was it just the younger people leaving to go find their fortune and work?
That was basically what it was. But like I said, after Gwen grew up there. So she was always there and trying to keep things going with the church and everything. She's had help over the years. Like I said, in 2008, I started helping her. And right now, since she's passed, a lot of her relatives, nieces and nephews and cousins have all come in to try to keep it going, not try to keep it going. We're doing really, really well. There's some repairs being done to the church now, since that's 120 plus years old. So, and people eager to help and with contributions and things. We were also able, if I can do a commercial, we were also able in 2002 to put out our book. It's called I Have Started for Canaan, and it's about the history of the Sugarland community, which you can also get on our website. I'm proud of two things with this book. One, that it tells the history of the community. And two, the picture that you see there has my mom, a couple sisters, a cousin, and a brother. And the gentleman lived in that community too. But that was the community well. And at one point, everyone used that well until they dug, their own wells on their own.
Where does that title come from? I've started for Canaan.
Gwen was able to collect a ledger from 1880 that had memorials of people who had died. They kept track of who came to Sunday school. They also used the church for meetings to settle disputes in the community. But one of the gentleman's obituaries had that line in it. And the gentleman who helped us with the book, Jeff Sipek, really liked that part of his obituary because it was a song. So he said he thought that would be, and we agreed, would be a good title for the book.
Yeah, that's quite beautiful. Did the church predate the Civil War, or was that built during the Reconstruction period when it started?
It was done during Reconstruction because they were able to acquire the land in 1871. There were two churches, I believe. One burned before that, but the church that's there now was built in 1893. So yeah, they were all done right after they were freed and able to purchase land.
Well, it's a remarkable history. I'm learning a lot more about Sugarland. I can't wait to go out and to see the museum inside the church. Suzanne, you're so very kind to spend a few moments with us, and thank you for agreeing to be our local hero for your great work in preserving this really precious piece of Montgomery County history, so important to our community.
Well, thank you very much again for having us, and we'll let you know when there's time when you'll be able to come out and visit us.
Terrific, and happy African American History Month to you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.